Hey, Joe, I just bought a truck from your neighbor.
Yes, you did.
What a deal. $300 2000 Ram. He's a mechanic.
How can you beat that?
You can't now.
Can you beat $300 for something that runs and has a sticker on it?
No, I mean, the thing runs out in next August, too. I guess there's some new thing with inspections in Massachusetts now. I guess they take pictures of you or something. Who knows? Whatever. Just more bullshit.
What do you mean they take pictures of you?
Well, I don't know. He was just telling me that apparently when you get... There's a whole new system for inspections now. They take pictures of the car as well. All this bullshit.
Yeah, anything to make your life more miserable. That's what they're trying to do. Just to make it more costly and miserable. But now, are you talking about, I wonder if they have some thing where, because you're supposed to go and, if you sell a vehicle or you buy a vehicle and it's got a valid inspection sticker for, 8 more months, you're not supposed to go with that for whatever reason.
No, you're supposed to go and, get a new sticker.
But if somebody already said it's good for a year, then why would you have to go get a new sticker?
Because they need their fucking money. I mean, that's think of the revenue.
It's all about the money.
Think about the revenue that's lost if everybody does what I'm gonna do, which is not bring that fucker in for inspection till next year. Now, if you get pulled over, sometimes a savvy cop will walk up and check the fucking thing out. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't call a savvy cop. I'd call it...
Because both the vehicle identification number and the tag number are on the inspection sticker.
Right. Well, that would be an asshole if they wrote you up for that, which would be a moving violation for whatever reason.
Well, they do it. You know what I mean?
Of course. And that's why they're hated.
Right.
So what do you got?
As far as the world in general...
Did you have any topics that you want to talk about, Al?
I don't know. I was starting out with the car thing. I don't know if I'm done with that yet, though. I got this hunk of junk fucking, what do you call it? This hunk of junk Blazer that I've been driving. It's actually not that big a hunk of junk. I turn it into a hunk of junk because I don't care, as you know. I drive everything I know right into the fucking dirt. This thing needs, well, I did the brakes on it, but it needs exhaust. I'm pretty sure it needs, like, ball joints or something. The thing creaks like a motherfucker.
Well, does it steer?
Oh, yeah. But it's...
Does it feel, if you jack up the front, you jack up the front wheels, and if they move, back and forth.
Right.
If you put a hand up on top and bottom, then you've got some ball joint issues.
Yeah, the chances of me jacking that thing up to check that are... slim and fucking none.
Probably not happening?
No, it's definitely not happening.
Well, they're overrated. Much like tie rod ends for the steering, because, if the tie rod end falls off, you can always just get a zip tie and you're good for another 100,000. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
And you might wear through tires a little faster. And you want to get the good plastic in the zip tie, because if it breaks, then, of course, going down the highway, you have one wheel doing a hard right or a left, and the other one going in the direction you want to go. But that's the excitement of it all.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's nothing more exciting than your fucking wheels wobbling on the highway.
So I did a little looking up today. The Washington Post ran an article of all of the mass shootings in the past 50 years, and I caught that. And lo and behold, there have been, I believe it's 131 mass shootings in the last 50 years, and they have killed. These mass shooters have killed, and they consider a mass shooting any nut that kills over 4 people at one time. Well, there's 900 and somewhere pushing 1,000. I think it's either 947 or 967 or something like that. So now numbers by themselves, as maybe the people, I don't know if anybody listened to this or the one guy who I actually believe is listening to this.
Actually, we got like 3 subscribers right now. 3
well,
or 4, yeah.
Well,
on YouTube anyway. It's not going to eventually be on YouTube. Everything. Maybe once in a while I'll throw it
Well,
up there, but
Then the importance of numbers by themselves don't mean that much. I mean, it's awful to talk about school, shootings and people getting killed, and it's a terrible thing. But in the last 50 years, there's been under 1,000 people killed, okay? And one of those people was your wife or your sister or your parents or you name it, somebody important to you. Of course, I mean, that means a lot. But then I went and I looked at the number of people that have died in airplanes in the United States in the last 50 years. And that number is 4,600. So that means you have 4.5 times, in round numbers, you have a 4.5 time better chance, or 450% better chance of dying on an airplane than being shot by a mass shooter gunman type person. And I thought that it would be the other way around. I figured the airplane deaths would be lower because, of course, we all hear that airplane travel is the safest type of travel you can do.
Yeah, well, most of the time with an accident like that, you're talking about 150, 200 people every time dying, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, the point is that statistically, dying in an airplane is very low. The chances of dying in an airplane are very low, and the chances of getting killed by a mass shooter are 4.5 times lower than that.
I mean, that's all very mathematical and analytic-y, but...
Well, so how about if I say it like this? The 950 or let's say 1,000. Those 1,000 people, with all due respect to the families and over 50 years, is pretty much statistically irrelevant. 1,000 people are going to die by tripping over, tripping and falling down in the bathroom, probably in a year. It's a negligible number. You follow what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying. I don't know what your point is, but I
Well,
understand.
the point is that taking all the guns away isn't going to change much.
Well, it's not only is it going to change much, but it's a fucking excuse. They used all the mass shooting deaths as an excuse to get them, because even if there wasn't a mass shooting, they still want the guns to go away. They don't want you to have guns.
No,
We could go 10, 12 fucking years without another mass shooting. And that's real. That might not happen again. But they'll still want to take the guns away 12 years.
I watched Dianne Feinstein. She wants all the guns taken away. She wants all the guns, and I believe Dianne lies knowingly, because I believe Dianne, she knows the difference between a automatic weapon and a semi-automatic weapon.
Well,
But purports to not know what the difference is and makes it sound like they're the same thing, because that fits her agenda.
well, that's called being a politician, and who are disingenuous by nature, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, she's full of shit.
Well, not just her, all of them. Both sides, by the way.
I was thinking about politicians, and the funny thing is, we have, if you think about it, there are, in the House and the Senate, there are probably, in the House, maybe let's say there's 50 people that seem to be around. They're around for a long time, and you see them a lot on television. And then in the Senate, I'd say maybe there's a dozen. Do you think there's a dozen? You think there's more that are
Who are visible type?
Yeah, meaning they're the ones on the television. They're speaking up. They're,
I mean, listen, I'm a little drunk and I got a fucking headache, and we all know that I'm stupid. I probably
You're
can't.
not stupid.
I know. I probably can't name 10 or 12 senators, where I used to be able to name all of them. I used to know every fucking senator. It's because I don't watch the news anymore.
This is what I'm talking about.
I get it at night while I'm flipping through Facebook or looking at Yahoo.
For all of you who think that the political system is just, it's just a horror show and it's a complete mess, you're partially right. But there are a lot of people that actually go in to do something and leave. And that is more the case than not. There are the ones there are the Paul Ryans, the Nancy Pelosi's, the in the Senate you've got, of course, Mitch McConnell. Is it Rich?
Mitch
McConnell. You have John McCain, who's been there forever. You have feisty Elizabeth Warren, who hasn't been there very long, although she's our senior senator. Who is our other senator, by the way?
Markey.
Who? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
So
can you imagine the national embarrassment of having Elizabeth Warren as your senior senator?
Yeah, just batshit fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
And when you can't explain yourself and you can't explain how your programs are going to work. I mean, she's the big, pro-consumer person, and I have no idea what the fuck she's talking about. I don't know what she wants to do. I have no idea what she wants to do, and I don't think she does either. She wants all the banks everyone to be thrown in jail, which probably isn't a bad idea, but I don't know where you start with that. We didn't put anybody in jail in 2008, although I did see an interesting documentary that we can talk about. We got Crazy Liz, and she likes to. Well, have you looked at her closely on television? Now that I've got a big flat screen TV, and you can see her. I can really see her, and her eyes look like they're fucking floating around in her head. She looks completely out of her fucking mind. She looks like she's either ready to join the circus, or looks like she might be ready to stab a midget.
Listen.
Or do something really, just something bad.
Yeah. And she might not have looked that way before she won the seat from Scott Brown, by the way. I believe, however, she is, among others, but she is a severe sufferer of Trump derangement syndrome.
Well,
I think it drives her nuts.
Yeah, they're all crazy. I mean, one of the best things about Trump being elected is I've never seen the news media this insane. It's proven that beyond a shadow of a doubt that the media is so crazy that they are so left wing and they can't hide it. They can't handle themselves.
Well, first of all, they're proud of it.
Well, I think that they like the idea that they were selling you a line of goods, that they were impartial and they were giving you the actual news. And what we found out with, people like Scott Pelley, who is just insufferable, and that Martha Raddatz, who looks like she got shot in the face 2 or 3 times with a shotgun. Just a fucking ugly person to look at. And, this Lawrence O'Donnell. Anybody ever seen him? Angry Larry. He looks like he just, the guy that got bagged screaming at people.
Fancies himself a tough guy, too.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. He's an asshole.
Right.
And they can't help themselves.
You hear that, Larry? You're an asshole.
You're an asshole, Larry. And no one's afraid of you. But no, it's just they've gone crazy. They've gone crazy. And they're going to, I don't know, they're continuing to disintegrate what was once a good party. I think it's kind of I believe we've kind of, the whole country has shifted to the left over time. So I think the Republicans are sort of in the same spot where, say, Jack Kennedy was in the 60s. And I dare say that the Democrats, and I'm saying the Democrats, the people that you see mostly, I'm not talking about people that are Democrats or people that vote Democrat, because, there's people that just vote Democrat and they always will. But they're just shithouse rat crazy. And they don't have they don't have a grasp on. It doesn't seem like they have a grasp on reality. It seems like they're really just fucking nuts. So
they got tunnel vision on their agenda, and that's it. Whatever
Well,
that might be.
They have, whatever it is, they have enough so that they've lost, they've lost an incredible amount of, what is it, like 2/3 or a fat 2/3 of the governors are Republican, and vast numbers of, I don't have the statistics, so I'm just talking out my ass. But there's a lot of state legislatures have all gone from Democrat to Republican, and we've got a Republican House, Senate, and president. And although it wasn't that long ago, we had a Democrat House, Senate, and president. But I think you got to get out. They got to get out of this name calling shit, and that everyone's a fucking racist. And your base cannot be the LGBT community. It's not going to get you elected.
Well, especially since it's right around 10% of the population, supposedly 10
I don't
to
even
12.
know. I don't even know that.
I think they say it's just about the same as whatever the black population is. It's about the same.
Black population is about 13%.
Yeah, gay population is probably a little lower.
I'm gonna type it in here and see how many people we got.
Hey, both my laptops take the same charger. Look at that.
How about it? Well, when they're both made by 3.8%, says Gallup. So, but the American public estimates on average that 23% of Americans are gay or
23%?
This is the American public. This is what they think. However, these estimates are many times higher than the 3.8% of the adult population who identified themselves as lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. So this is the whole ball of wax. 3.8% of the population. Very tiny.
Much like my penis.
Yes, mine as well. So there you go.
Why, circling back to the whole Republican and Democrat thing, not that I was looking to talk about this, but it popped in my head. Why here in Massachusetts do we have a perpetual, totally Democratic Party legislature, and every governor in recent memory is, other than old Duval, is a Republican? At least every other governor is Republican. That goes back and forth, but you can't ever get any inroads into that legislature.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's a simple answer. I think there's a lot of people getting paid that might not get paid if they were to vote in. There'd be some reforms. I think there's a lot of people that have really fat pensions that they're not ill-gotten, but, just make no sense in reality. They retired after 20 years of working at 50 with 80% of their pay, and their pay was 30-40% too high to begin with. So I mean, I think you have a lot of that. And then it's we're a very liberal state, and if you go to I don't know, Cambridge, and then sort of west of Boston, and there's a big population, big amount of people, and large amount of people, and a lot of them are very liberal, democratic. So I think that's a guess. That's an absolute guess. Somebody probably has an answer. I've never really looked, and I don't know why we can't crack that, because it's always, what is it, like 85%? That's the way it's been for a long time.
Yeah.
They've always been able to turn over a veto from the Republican governor. But the Republican governor typically shows that people want a little balance in the state. So I believe they want a little balance.
Does that make us enlightened here in Massachusetts, or does it make us wishy-washy?
I don't know. Well, it makes us we're a pretty good state as far as, our taxation isn't crazy, and it's a pretty nice place to live.
Although we have a reputation for being Taxachusetts.
Yeah, but I mean, that was kind of, go to California and pay their taxes, and you'll come back to Massachusetts pretty quick.
I tell you, though, it's a bitch fucking multiplying everything in your head by 0.0625. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's, you go to California, and instead of a 5 12.5% income tax, they have a 13% income tax or a
Right.
10% income tax. And they've got a sales tax, and they've got a, if you drive down the street for more than 3 mile tax, and they've got gasoline that's crazy and regulations everywhere. And it's so we're not bad. Was Massachusetts maybe in the 70s or 80s, but
Right.
it's not anymore. We're right in the middle. We're like number 25. So it's not a bad place to be. I don't think, anyway.
No, Massachusetts is cool, especially, the whole Four Seasons thing, if you're into that. And certainly, look, if you want to work, you can get a job. You're not gonna get rich, but there's certainly work out there.
Well, there's people that do get rich.
Oh no, I'm just saying. I'm saying
not us, Al.
Well, that's fucking for sure.
But it's certainly I think it's a wonderful place to live. And
do you really? I fucking hate the snow, man.
Yeah, I don't
hate it.
I like the snow.
Do you really?
I like some snow. Depends. If we have snow for 3 months on the ground, then I won't like snow
Yeah, that
much.
fucking blows, man. When it snows that second week of January and it just stays there until the first week of April, that sucks.
But I think the with the global warming kicking in, I think our winters are going to be a little more mild, and I'll take that.
I don't see any indication of that, dude.
Well, the last 2 years have been pretty good.
They've been average. They've been fucking average.
I don't know.
There's no fucking rhyme or reason
I'm
ever
going-
to how much it snows. There's no rhyme or reason.
I'm
to it.
going
It's
with
different every year.
I'm going with the global warming.
Yeah, that's fine. I think it stands to reason that if, since we've had factories and, ever since the Industrial Revolution, it makes sense, obviously, that, there's going to be a little climate change. But, again,
Does it make me a bad person when I say I fucking love global warming?
Well, I mean, there are probably those who would argue that it at least makes you sound like an idiot.
What do you mean?
Why do you love global warming, Joe?
Because I want our area to be, like, on the whole, 5 to 10 degrees warmer.
That's going to happen anyway without global warming eventually.
Well, now who's sounding like the idiot? How's it going to happen anyway?
It's just
What
how
is
the,
it? Does
it's
it-
what the
does it-
Earth does.
It doesn't just get warmer.
Sure, man. The Earth is going like this. Oh, you can't see that. This is the radio.
Yeah.
One day,
I don't know what that
one
means
day,
either.
Cape
What are you
Cod is
talking
going to be
about?
like the Sun Belt down south.
Well, that's probably because of global warming.
Yeah.
Here's what the global warming people don't want you to know. You want to hear the secret?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Now, global warming goes hand in hand. The people that are really upset about the global warming are also very upset, and they believe strongly that the population on the planet is absolutely unsustainable. So, the global warming, in a way, is a twofer. So, it's going to get a little warmer out. And what that's going to do is raise sea levels. But in rich countries like ours, we're going to be able to combat most of that. There's not going to be a lot of widespread. There may be some areas where we're going to have to say, well, we can't live here anymore. But for poor countries, basically these fucking people are going to just drown. And, millions of people. And that will cut down on the number of people entering the first world. And this is really what the global warming people want. Because nobody believes, even the global warming people, that you're going to be able to take 150 years of an economy that was built on fossil fuels and turn it around in 20 to use renewable energy. Nobody believes that. Everything you see in this Everything, if you look in your house, just look around. Everything that you look at, fossil fuel contributed to everything that you can see. The shirt you're wearing, the paint on the doors, the doorknobs, anything made out of wood had to be cut with a saw that was run by electricity, that was generated by oil or gas. Everything is either made from fossil fuel or made from the energy generated by fossil fuel. So nobody believes they can be turned around, but we're going to drown a bunch of people, and nobody will really give a shit. We'll be upset for a while, but, they'll be upset for a while. And they can, of course, point out that they were on the side of making change, so they'll be in a good place because they were jumping up and down. But they really knew right from the get-go that there wasn't going to be a fucking thing done about it. I believe that's the global warming, that's the conspiracy of global warming. Because anybody that says, well, we can have solar and wind, and I mean, we're talking about, from today, it's not going to happen in 20 years. Now, when Al Gore did that Inconvenient Truth, that was, 2003, 2004? We were talking about getting it done in 20 years then. And it's been 13. You know what I mean? So it ain't going to happen. It's not happening. So I would say that we should probably make a whole bunch of the shit you float on in the pool that you buy down at Job Lot. I think we should start an NGO and send a bunch of little fucking rafts and rubber ducks and, a few compressors over there. And what did you do to my ears? Because
I did nothing.
Really?
Yeah. Did
you just change something? Because something changed. It's either louder or something's going into my left ear more than my right.
Don't know what to say.
Well, so at any rate, I believe, maybe some rafts, but they'll have some fun before they die.
Right.
Rafts made out of cyanide, so you can eat the raft when you're done floating. Just have a little piece and end it all. But I mean, places like Bangladesh and on the coast of India, down south, there's 100 million people live there. It's all going to be underwater. So if the global warming shit's all true, which I don't have any reason not to believe that. Well, what do you think? Are you a believer in global warming?
I don't think about global warming at all, ever.
Well,
Does that make me a bad guy?
No, but
it doesn't affect me. It's not going to affect my kids. God willing, it's not going to affect my grandkids. I don't care. I care less about global warming than I do about the Vegas shooting. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should have an opinion. If I got I'm sitting here at a podcast where I'm supposed to talk and have an opinion. I have zero opinion. Certainly zero interest. I'm not going to read up on global warming.
Well,
I'm not going to do it.
I haven't really read up on global warming.
Well, I'm not
either.
saying that doesn't mean you can't, or other people. I'm certainly not ridiculing other people for having an opinion on global warming. But that fits right into the I'm keeping it real category. I don't give a fuck.
Well, that's a very real... if you say you don't give a fuck, then I guess maybe you don't really care. And... maybe some of these global warming people would be hurt by that.
I think they would just look at me as an uneducated lump of fucking shit,
Just a fucking goon.
And I just...
A goon
can't help but agree with them.
Doesn't know, isn't in the elite class.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I got my own fucking problems, dude. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna fucking pay rent next month. I could care less about Bangladesh being underwater. You know what I mean?
Well, and you probably wouldn't even
couldn't
know.
care less, by the way. Jesus Christ, what terrible English.
You know, you probably wouldn't even know for a while. You'd have to hear it many times on the news before you said, hey, Bangladesh is underwater.
Right.
Then you got to look up on where the fuck that is.
I'll tell you one thing I did see in the news that caught my interest. Did you hear about this Detroit area woman who got sentenced to like 7 months in jail for refusing to get her son vaccinated?
No, I didn't hear about that.
I guess, her husband pushed the issue because they were split up or something. And they had agreed at first that the kid was going to get all his immunizations. And she's like, nope, I don't want him to get immunized.
Yeah.
Which to me, again, get your kids their fucking shots, all right? So other kids don't get fucking sick, please.
Yeah, but Jenny McCarthy says that its vaccines are bad.
Well,
listen, God knows she's done the research.
To me, there's about as much link between immunizations and autism as there are to actual evidence that the fucking Russians interfered in the presidential election. Show me exactly how again? Oh, you can't give me a specific answer? Okay.
Well, there's a lot
specifics.
There's a lot of people that believe that this is causing autism.
Yeah.
I have no idea. It's one of those things where
it does seem like there's a lot more people diagnosed with autism, or somewhere on the scale. I think back to when we were kids. Yeah, I think that people weren't diagnosed with it. I don't see that there is more people with autism because there's more immunizations.
Quite frankly, I don't think I've heard of autism until later on in life, like in my 30s.
It just was something that wasn't diagnosed,
Well, maybe, do you think that the vaccines are causing autism, or do you think they've just broadened so any kid with a twitch has fucking autism?
I don't know if it's any kid with a twitch, but they call it the spectrum. And you can be on one side of the spectrum or you can be on the other side. You can have a touch of it, and then everywhere in between, there's that Asperger's syndrome that's in there somewhere. And then there's different forms and variations of autism, or, they call it the spectrum.
Is there anywhere on the spectrum where if you're a male, you can blow yourself all day long?
I don't think you necessarily have to
loads of fucking
I think
splooge all over your face.
Why do you ask that, Joe?
I don't know.
You thinking thinking that you're on the spectrum?
No. God forbid.
That's the other thing. You can't say I have autism. You have to say on the spectrum.
On the spectrum?
That is the politically correct way to say that.
How about if you're on the spectrum and you're doing some chromatography and you're looking at a spectrum?
Well, that's a different spectrum now, isn't it, Joe?
Yes, it is. So do you have to? I think you have to say the autism spectrum.
Listen, no one's talking about fucking chromatography. Everyone's talking about autism.
Yes. I don't know. I think they should put these fuckers in jail. I think it's a good idea.
Which fuckers?
Well, if you don't get your kid vaccinated. Now, there is something to be said where I saw something where they go in and they blast you with these fucking vaccines. They give the, 1-year-old, the baby, 17 vaccines in a row. And where there's no need for that, where you can kind of do it a little slower. And maybe that's not a bad idea. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I haven't read all the scientific papers. I don't even know if do they make drugs with thimerosal anymore? The big, that was the big, when I was listening to Imus, he used to have this guy on all the time. He wrote a book called Evidence of Harm. His name was David Kirby. I don't know, I think I remember it because he had him on all the time. And it was all about how, thimerosal, which is a mercury-based preservative that they would put in the vaccines was giving the kids fucking autism. But, you know, the flip side of people, you know, now if they're saying like 1 in 160 people are ending up with autism. Now that's a pretty bad, that's a heavy duty statistic. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you're, you know, 1 out of 167 that's crazy. However,
I believe there was just a major study finished that kind of proves that the whole thimerosal thing is bullshit.
it's all bullshit.
Yeah, and it was funded by the anti-vaxxers too.
I gotta believe.
So
that
they're fucking scrambling. You can look that up. That's recent.
I probably had eggs with thimerosal on it.
Yeah.
At some point in my life, and you know, the fact is that a few years ago there was like the first, you know, the small outbreak of measles for the first time in fucking 75 years. And this is because some group of assholes didn't vaccinate their kids.
Right.
And they got the fucking measles. So if your kid goes to school and gives some other kid the measles because the kid's younger and hasn't got the measles vaccine yet, or I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know when you get it, or whatever the disease may be.
Don't you know, Joe, that helps build your immunity system?
The measles? Or it kills you.
Right.
And then
what it does is contribute to fucking really ill health later on in life.
Yeah,
that's why you gotta
be dead.
That's why you don't want to get it.
No, you don't want to get that. Or what else? The mumps or
rubella.
I don't even know what any of this shit is.
Me neither.
You don't want any of that shit. So, and you
seems like people live a lot longer now that we don't get any of that shit in our childhood, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, because vaccines are good, and you should vaccinate your children. And if you don't, and you get somebody else's kid sick, you should be fucking killed. I think you should be executed
on TV.
Yes.
Live.
Yes.
Yep.
And you'll be allowed to stand up there and use all of the social justice warrior words while you're being executed. You can call everybody a racist and a homophobe and a xenophobe and a pedophobe for people that hate the pedophiles. And, you know, all kinds of other shit.
Lump me right in as a pedophobe.
You know, we've got ists, we've got phobes. You're a racist, you're a narcissist, you're a... What else what's the good ist words? Other than race. You got racist, I don't know.
Cunnilinguist?
You're a cunnilinguist.
Yep.
I believe that's eating somebody's box while...
Speaking another language?
Another language.
That's kind of linguistics. You got it.
Yes, but you're a kind of linguist. Does that mean that you've already mastered the other language and you're just practicing?
I don't know. It's all done with the tongues anyway. That's all I know.
Right.
Speaking, eating vagina, whatever.
Must be a Latin word. Is that a Latin root word, Al?
I mean, probably. It's we speak a Germanic language with influences from Latin, so I'm sure. Sounds it anyway.
Is English a Germanic language?
Oh, totally.
Really?
Yeah, there's three major Germanic languages: German, English, and Dutch. And there's offshoots of each. Actually, Dutch has more offshoots than either of the two combined. Flemish being one of them. Jeez, listen to me. I'm getting to put my my English degree to use here right on the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, again, something that if you're thinking about it later.
Who are the Flemish?
Well, they're from a section of, and I can't remember if it's currently in modern Belgium or in modern Netherlands.
Do they have
It's called Vlaams.
Do they have the sniffles a lot?
Flemish and sniffles? I don't get it.
Hawking up a lot of loogies?
Well, I don't know what to say, man. Those people
Or
over
it's
there,
not phlegm related.
I'll tell you what, they all got square heads.
Box heads.
Yeah.
Well, nothing wrong with a square head.
No, not at all.
You know, you figure if you fall out of a car while it's going fast, you're not going to roll that far with a square fucking head. You know what I mean? It's like a wheel, you know? If you got one of those fucking round heads, you could roll for miles. Especially if you jump out when it's going 70. But
Right.
you got a square head, you're going to slow down quick.
Right.
Now, some of your corners might be a little bruised up, but
That's all right.
hey, you stop quick.
So you're thinking that you roll better with the square head than with a helmet?
I don't know. No, I think with the square head, you're not going to roll as far. The helmet's more round. They should make the helmet square, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they're just not going to be all aerodynamic and shit, but you're right.
Well, how
They
fast do
probably
you
should.
need to go?
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, how aerodynamic do you need to be? The only problem is it might be so non-aerodynamic that your fucking head is getting pushed back by the wind as you go. You know what I mean?
Well,
While you can stay pretty still with your round helmet.
you have to get a windscreen then. You know, and you have a square head.
Again, you know better than me on that stuff. While I get it, I get the motorcycle thing. A lot of my friends are motorcycle guys. My son is a motorcycle guy, big time. Again, I'm a fucking wimp. I'm afraid of them. I'm afraid of other people on the road. Not afraid of motorcycles. I'm afraid of other people.
Well, I
It's
don't.
just on my list of things I'm not going to do. I'm not putting myself in that position.
I don't
get
own
it,
one
though.
now. I went through. It was a phase, and it was a fun phase. And I rode all over the country.
I mean, it was a 40-year phase for you, wasn't it?
No, not that long. But I would say it was a, I don't know, 20, 25-year phase.
You had all different kind of bikes. I remember,
I think
classic-looking bikes and
I had
race-looking bikes.
10.
You even made one, I believe, didn't you? It was a kit bike.
I did. I made a motorcycle.
Did you have to get a separate frame for that, or did that all the whole kit was
The whole motorcycle came in on a pallet,
okay?
and a lot of the shit I didn't use, and bought a lot of shit on eBay.
Did you turn a profit on that project?
No, of course not. No, you never make any money on that shit.
That's why I asked. I just don't know.
It's a money loser right from the get-go. Anything involving engines, floating, if it flies, the old, if it flies.
Anything that moves, planes, trains, and automobiles.
Well, if it flies, floats, or fucks, it's just going to cost you a fortune.
Oh,
That's
who
the
are
old
you?
saying.
Who are you? What's his name there? Mr. Worldwide. Fucking the bald dude. No, I forget his name. The fucking rapper guy. He's everywhere. He says that all the time. What's the nicest bike you owned? In your opinion?
I don't know how to.
What was your favorite bike out of all your bikes? How's that?
Well, I had a Harley for a while. I really liked that. It leaked from several places, but I enjoyed riding that. I had a big Valkyrie Interstate, and that had a radio, and that one I enjoyed. Well, I did that. I took that cross country twice.
I was going to say, that must be the bike that you put the most miles on that you owned. No?
Now I can't remember. I either took the Harley twice or the. Well, I took the Valkyrie. Maybe that was once, but I did several trips on the Valkyrie where we went to. I went to Texas, so it wasn't all the way to the West Coast, and we didn't go. I wasn't gone for a month. I was gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of trips like that on that motorcycle.
How many times did you make it to Sturgis?
I think 3 or 4. And then
Was that tedious? Just seems to me, again, I don't want to offend anybody. I love all you motorcycle riders, but just being around that many people who are enthusiastic about the same thing would get fucking old, for me anyway.
well, it's not tedious, and it's a show.
A lot of guys wearing leather and shit.
Well, that's the problem. It's a Halloween show,
Right.
and everybody's got a scowl.
Let's put on leather and let's ride.
Everybody thinks that they're some sort of a tough guy. You know, they go and they buy the Harley, and some fucking dentist goes and buys a Harley, and you get the kit, and you put
There's
all
a
the
uniform
shit
on. There's a uniform, you mean?
Yes, it's an official uniform.
Right.
You have a vest with various patches and shit on it, and you tow your bike from wherever you live to your hotel, and then you unload it, and then you go riding around and pretend that you're mean. And there's a lot of that going on, and those people, we've come to the conclusion, are just assholes. Like
I don't consider them any more assholes than the guy
No,
who dresses that way every day.
no, because the guy that dresses that way every day is at least
He's an asshole.
he's a genuine biker.
Yeah, makes him an asshole.
Probably could be an asshole, but at least maybe he's been in a few knife fights, or been shot at, or he's part of the Hells Angels.
Oh, so he's got some street cred or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I
Right.
mean, he could be a real biker. But
Or a real pussy.
most of the people that go are just, they're not. They don't look like they're having a good time, and I don't.
That was my point.
I don't understand it. Why wouldn't you just go? If you're gonna do it, you gotta have some fun, and they don't look like they're having fun.
Because you got to be seen, I guess.
Well, you got to be. I think they're locked into this notion that you have to be a certain way, and because you're in this Harley culture. So that's the thing I don't like about the Harley Davidson thing, is the whole culture thing. I'm not interested. Not interested at all. And I'll take any motorcycle that runs, and most of the Harleys run pretty good nowadays. There was a time when they didn't. And if you go anywhere to any of these motorcycle rallies, the bikes you see broken down on the side of the road are old Harleys.
Right.
Now, that could be just because they're old and the guy has no fucking idea what he's doing.
Right.
But they used to, it was sort of a thing that you took out and you knew it was going to break and you're going to have to fix it somewhere along the way. So, I don't know. So, the motorcycling was a lot of fun, but, I had the bike that I went up Route 91, which goes from, it's in Western Massachusetts, and it goes from the bottom of Massachusetts all the way into Vermont, and it goes further down than that. I think it goes into Connecticut. But between somewhere 5 or 6 miles before Vermont, I had so it was a CBR 1100, and that was one of those sport bikes. And I had the speedometer, and I don't know how fast I was really going, but I had the speedometer. It was over 180 miles an hour. And things are going by very fast at 180. Now, they say that the speedometers are pretty inaccurate when they get up to that speed, so you might only be doing 160.
Wow, that inaccurate, huh?
Yeah, they're off quite a bit. But still, 160 is
Does that mean
pretty
you could be
fast.
going 200 too? I mean, does it work the other way?
No, they tend to be off. They tend to be high. And I think they do that on purpose, so people, like you can bury the speedometer and you'll slow down. So, and have it 30 miles an hour off, and have the guy tell everybody you went 200 miles an hour and he only went 170. Which is still pretty fast.
It's quick.
But so I there's nothing else I want to do. I can't really do I own a dirt bike that I blew up that I'm going to fix at some point. But I'm at 54. It's not that you can't do it. You just have to accept the fact that you're going to, if you crash, you could really fuck yourself up. And
Right.
I don't think I want to do that.
You're a little more brittle and less rubbery at 54
Yeah.
than even 24. That's for sure.
Yeah, I used to crash a lot in the dirt, and you just kind of brush yourself
Right.
off.
Now my kid does that, man. Fucking crashes and he laughs and he gets up. I'm like,
Yeah.
motherfucker. You know, he got a big fucking scab from his elbow up to his
Yeah,
wrist
well,
and
this-
shit.
I mean, youth is not going to get you away from road rash. Jesus, we saw on the road, whatever the main highway is that goes through Sturgis, which is, I don't know, I-70 or something, or I-80. There was a guy that fell off his motorcycle on the highway, and he hit some of that groove pavement and just started going squirrely. And I mean, we're talking he fell off going 60 miles an hour. And of course, he was wearing sandals and shorts and a tank top.
He's got hamburger for skin now.
Yeah, and it was just, people pulled over, and my father and I stopped, and he was just, he wasn't dead, but
He wasn't doing too good.
he had a long recovery.
Yeah.
You're gonna heal, but you're gonna be fucked up for a long time.
Jeez, that wasn't. I know it was a while ago. Maybe you might be talking about something that happened 20 years ago, but that would have put your old man in his 60s. He was doing them long trips in his 60s, huh?
Yeah. 2000. I think 2003 was our last trip, so 14 years ago. So he's. I believe he turns 80.
Yeah, he will be 80 or he just turned. I forget.
So 65.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad.
66.
And fucking a big dude, too. Not some little wispy dude who can climb up on a motorcycle and go for thousands of miles. You figure, man, he's a sizable dude. I'm not saying he's not a huge oaf, but man, he must go 240, 250 or something, even back then.
I don't know. He was a miserable cunt. And
Yeah.
he just sort of.
I wasn't looking to go there.
No. I'm saying, on the road, he's fucking miserable.
Well, I mean, how are you going to be any different on the road than you are in your fucking everyday life? You know what I mean?
Well, but he managed to just push himself through it.
Yeah.
The other thing about riding a motorcycle all over the place is that, you haven't really ridden a motorcycle until you've ridden in, say 2 or 3 days of fucking pouring rain. It's just, it's enough to suck the soul right out of you.
Yeah, right. I'm sure it's fucking miserable.
Bridge abutments were looking pretty good.
Now, see, this is how little I know about riding motorcycles. Listen, you're never going to catch me at any fucking time sitting in the rain hanging out. It's not going to happen. It's just not happening.
Most people don't sit in the rain.
Yeah, I don't even like driving a car in the rain.
Right.
Because the car does weird shit. It seems to me that, never mind the fact that you're getting fucking soaking wet, isn't it a bitch to drive a motorcycle while the fucking pavement's wet? I don't know, because I've never done it.
No. But it's not how, you're, when you're going down the highway, you're not, you've got so much, whatever the thing that keeps you up is the rotation of the wheels. But so you're not going to just fall over, and the tires are pretty good and stuff, and so you're not going to, unless you do something crazy, you're not going to slip all over the place. And you wear rain gear, and you've got waterproof, and there's nothing that's at 60 miles an hour. There's nothing is really waterproof. It's kind of water resistant,
I mean, I gotta say though, excuse me, I gotta get a cough button for this fucking microphone. We do these podcasts now, and I take a nap before, and then I start drinking. I'm just fucking dry as shit. Maybe I gotta stop with that shit and not start drinking until after. But anyway, my thought on the motorcycle is, the only reason why I asked the question was, when it's raining on the highway, you never see a fucking motorcycle. So you got to figure that there's some maniac who's got to get where he's going, and he's just going to get wet, or like you said, there's rain gear.
Well, yeah,
never see anybody driving in the rain on a motorcycle.
I mean, you won't get up in the morning and start riding in the rain. So So the 3 days. I mean, I'm embellishing when I say the 3 days in the rain is, like it's been raining all night and you get up and it's pouring out and you get on the bike and go. I mean, there's not. Maybe I've done that once, but it's typically you don't start in the rain. But once you're off and you're going, and it starts raining, it's just it's gonna rain and you gotta go.
Sounds awful.
And I don't know. I've done a lot of miles in the rain. I got hailed on in Montana. That was interesting. There was small hail though, so nothing like a big snowball came down and knocked me off the bike. But I pulled off quick and went underneath a bridge and.
Do you remember which bike you were on?
I was on a Harley Davidson. That was a Harley Davidson.
So it's not like you had a big wind fucking screen on it or something.
No, I had a windscreen.
Oh, did you?
Good sized windscreen. But it's hail's not good. We were in snow a little bit too. And outside of Salt Lake City, we were going up. And we were staying at some sort of, I don't know. What we would do is that we would book the hotel the night before. And that way we could all split up because my father would always leave because he has no patience and, and he goes off and does his own thing. But it's actually the best way to make time. So now people might say, well, the fuck's the point of going if you're not going to stick together? But there's a lot of riding. Like if you're coming from the east and you want to get out west, you got to do 4 days on the road of 4 like 600 or 700 mile days. And you just want to do it and get it over with. And then you can kind of, start enjoying yourself. So if you want to get to the destination where you're going to ride and do some scenic stuff, then you can kind of slow down and take it easy. Stay a few days at the same place. You follow what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you can get into the Yellowstone area and go into Yellowstone and stay in Jackson Hole.
The fuck is that?
I don't know. What are you doing?
I was looking at Harvey Weinstein. That's what I was doing.
Harvey.
Jesus
Harvey's
Christ.
a bad boy.
Men behaving badly with their penises.
Well, the funny thing is, did you see the Donna Karen thing where she says maybe they were asking for it?
Yeah, nice job, Donna.
Donna, who she looks like she's been beaten with a fucking bat with nails sticking out of it. I mean, she's just hideous. And doesn't she design the clothes that would be the whore fucking kit?
Yeah,
Doesn't
clothes
she do that?
that
The
you,
whore
if you
uniform?
wear that, you pretty much are asking for it.
Right.
So maybe it's like a little cottage industry. I guess Donna would know, actually.
Right. So
Donna would know, wouldn't she?
if you're wearing the, but I thought that
Talk about a disingenuous cunt.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, imagine if Trump said that. Well, she was fucking asking for it. She was wearing a short skirt, so she wanted it. So
I grabbed her by her pussy.
yeah. Well, it looks like Harvey was really grabbing people by their
Jesus
pussy.
Christ.
He's very sorry.
He
Have you noticed?
That's Quentin Tarantino's fucking benefactor, isn't it? I believe.
Oh, for Pulp Fiction?
Well, for everything. That's Quentin's guy. That's who puts up the money for Quentin's shit.
Well, he's been involved with a lot of good movies. You don't see. I saw this today. Where the fuck is Matt Damon? Because Harvey Weinstein put the green light on that fucking Good Will Hunting movie.
Oh, okay.
That made him and Ben famous.
Right.
And you don't see fucking Ben out there sticking by his man.
Wow, that's the type of thing when
or Matt.
I believe he's persona non grata at this point,
All of them, they just fucking skate off into the fucking weeds.
Harvey's got enough money. He'll be all right. It's okay that
Oh,
he
he's
got
not-
quote unquote fired.
He's not gonna suffer financially, but I don't think you come back from that kind of reputation, because now there's more people coming out of the woodwork. You know, it takes a few. It takes a few in a story, and then people start to feel comfortable. That
It's almost Cosby-like. He's just all the allegations coming out, and he's fucking denying all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What happened with old Bill? I forget. OJ's out. What happened to Bill?
I don't know. Well, Bill's, isn't he blind? He can't see?
Something. I don't know. He's at least pretending he can't see.
Right.
I mean, he is an actor after all. America's dad.
I don't know. It's just, that whole thing is just very sad, And I mean, of course, you feel for the women, but.
Well, that's why it's sad. You feel for the women. I'm not, I could give, I don't care about Bill Cosby. I'm tickled pink almost.
Well, it's sad that,
I'm tickled pink that someone like that is a fucking asshole and has been proven to be a fucking hypocrite. I love it. Well, other people's misery in that way. I mean, I get almost sexual satisfaction from it.
Well, you look at a guy like Harvey Weinstein, and if you asked me 10 years ago, you think this guy harasses women? The answer would be, of course he does. Look at him.
He's not a handsome man.
It's not like, I think there's a lot of, you blow me, you get this movie. But you got to blow me every fucking 3 days while the movie's being shot. And then you're off the hook. And I believe there's a lot of that fucking going on.
Of course there is.
I think it's still going on now. And
I think, unfortunately, there's a lot of that going on, period, in America, never mind in the movie industry.
Well, you hope not, but...
There's a lot of really good-looking, fucking unqualified secretaries out there in America.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Now, some of them are qualified, and maybe I'm sexist, but like I always say, what's wrong with being sexy?
Well, I don't know. It's just Harvey is a... I don't know. I don't know anything about him. I don't really care. He paid 8 people off, though. I heard that today.
Bill O'Reilly style.
He paid him off. Yeah. Well, although O'Reilly's is a little different, and his sort of made sense. Look, you can. It's almost you're running a news program, and when he was on, he had the #1 news program, and someone comes along and they're gonna, you got to go through a fucking trial and discovery and the whole 9 yards, and this is gonna go on for 2 or 3 years. If you're 100% innocent, you're going to come out looking bad. So you might as well pay him to just go the fuck away, Because maybe they worked with you. And, I don't know whether Bill...
Isn't that like negotiating with terrorists, though?
Didn't Bill do...
It also
Bill
is a convenient excuse.
Things like...
Bill fucking... Listen... I'm an O'Reilly fan. I watched the show. I like him. He made me laugh because, first of all, the whole "I'm not a right-wing guy, I'm right down the middle" it's just bullshit, and it's funny. He's funny. That's why I like O'Reilly. He fucking makes me giggle. But he's a sexual predator, and he got fucking caught. He's a predator.
Well, and it's just creepy.
Well, yeah.
I think he's a creepy. He's not a guy you think of as the ladies' man.
Well, he fancies himself a ladies' man.
Well, I don't think any of the ladies do. That's the problem.
I mean, here's the thing, though.
Wasn't he choking the shit out of his wife or something?
I don't know.
That could just be a rumor.
No, I think his way younger, supposedly ethnic wife, not that means anything, but apparently he put his fucking hands on her. I don't think they're together anymore.
No, it was a big divorce. It was a big, no fun fucking divorce kind of deal.
Right. Yeah, and that sucks too. I mean, there's nothing worse than that. But you can't be putting your hands on fucking women, first of all. You can't be putting your hands on anybody. Keep your fucking hands off. Guys who put their hands on women, that is my fucking biggest pet peeve in life. That is a fucking quick way to get your ass fucking beat, Well, bad. But I'm telling you, guys like O'Reilly And again, I'm not there, and I know we have this thing called due process and everything, but if you paid off X amount of people and X enough people are talking about it, and you just said, I said he's a ladies' man, you said, well, maybe not. I'm like, yeah, he probably is. There's got to, if you get fucking called out that many times, there's got to be a lot of times where you fucking attempted to get some and you got it. It's addicting. You know what I mean? It's like a fucking snowball running downhill. He's not keeping on trying because he's getting shot down. He keeps on trying because half the time he fucking gets it. You know what I mean? Because there's enough fucking money grubbing fucking whores out there who will fuck a celebrity or anybody with money or a nice car or some coke or something. I'm not saying Bill has coke. I'm talking anybody. There's enough fucking whores out there. I'm talking about you ladies.
Money grubbing fucking whores.
All you got to do is have some money, a car,
slobs,
a fucking hot tub,
fucking slobs,
or some coke, and boom, the panties come off. And the mouth goes right on the prick, and that's it.
I don't know. He said some off-color thing, like, yeah. I guess there was a African American woman working in the office, and he called her fucking chocolate sweetheart or some fucking thing like that.
You cannot be going. You can't do that.
Just really, really, just. Makes me squirm even thinking about it.
You know? Most the political.
Hey, hot chocolate mama.
Yeah, you can't be saying "What's up, chocolate." You can't do.
You're
that.
my little chocolate. You're my little chocolate mama.
It just shows that you have no governor and you don't know the difference between right and wrong.
Yeah,
look, the political correct crowd will say that even if you think like that, you're an asshole. The thought police.
Oh, you should be killed.
But unfortunately, there's a thing called being human. But
unless you're Harvey Weinstein, and it's the woman's fault.
Yeah, right.
Have you noticed that with all these fucking liberal cunts? And, it's Harvey, Donna Karen, I don't know anything about Donna Karen, but anybody that comes out and says, well, they were asking for it, maybe they were asking for it, is a fucking, you're a hypocrite cunt. Because this whore's probably hanging around, Gloria Steinem and the rest of them, big Hillary Clinton supporter, and, they said Hillary, I guess she took a lot of money from old Harvey, and she said she was completely shocked, and that all women, of course, should be believed, except if they're fucking her husband or being raped by him. And she didn't give the money back. She's not giving the money back, that's for sure.
No.
Not old Hillary. She needs that money. Needs the money.
Hey, do you mind if we take a quick break, Joe?
No. Go right ahead.
We'll be back in a little bit.
It's pen and mold. Now for the millionth
And we're back, everybody. Again,
We're back, baby.
I'm Al. This is Joe.
I'm Joe. I'm Joe.
Usually, I got a lot of stuff to talk about, but I've been busy editing and getting set up for this thing that we're going to do here. We've been talking about it for a while. I didn't want to address the podcast directly while we're on the air, but in light of the fact that I'm not that prepared today otherwise.
Yeah, you're really a fucking shit bum.
Today, you think?
No. Well, yeah.
I mean,
no.
Why be different any other day? What's going on with your project there? And is that in Carver or Kingston?
Which one?
The fucking one that's taking fucking forever to fucking get to the point where it can be painted.
Oh, that's going along lovely.
Yeah.
Well, Chris goes off into landscape mode and goes away, and I think it definitely costs him more money to landscape than he makes landscaping by not doing the houses, and things slow down.
Right.
And he's got to he's just going to have to he's got to figure it out.
Right.
He's not doing anything bad. He's not a bad guy, and I don't particularly care. It's just that,
And Chris is, would you call him, are you guys partners now? Would you say a partner, or is he runs stuff for you on site?
Well, no, he's a partner in the sense that he gets a percentage and is paid, he's not paid a wage. But if you're going to be the everyday guy, you got to be there every day.
Right.
And that's the deal. Hey, so I saw this documentary this morning, and it was the documentary about the only bank that was put on trial for the sins of 2008. And it was a bank in Chinatown in New York City called the New York Federal Savings Bank, I believe was the name of it.
All right.
And the prosecutor or the DA, Cyrus Vance Jr.
Oh, boy. Is it New York Federal Credit Union or Savings Bank?
I think it's New York Federal Savings Bank.
Okay.
And Cyrus Vance Jr., whose father was Cyrus Vance Sr.,
right,
who was he was under, this is a long time ago, under JFK. He's
certainly been a presence in American politics.
Yeah,
for a while.
Well, he was Department of Defense or Department of the Army under JFK, and he was under Carter. He was Secretary of State. This is his son. So
the DA.
The DA.
Yeah.
And the son. And this just wrapped up a year ago or so, and so there were a couple loans that were, somebody. There was a bad actor in the bank, somebody that was like telling old people that, oh, well, you just give me, because a lot of these people are they're right off the boat and they have cash. You know what I mean? A lot of people are dealing with cash, and had these guys. One guy in the bank who was basically telling people, well, you have to give me $3,000. That's how it's done. In cash, and then I do your loan application, and after that's done, you give me another $5,000, and he would make up all the shit on the loan application. And so this is shit that was, compared to all of the big banks, was just fucking nothing. There were a handful of loans that were had fictitious shit. However, nobody out of the 3,000 loans that were written during the bad period, only 9 of them defaulted. So it wasn't like, this bank statistically was just an excellent bank, excellently well run, and the family was just what a wonderful bunch of it was. The old man was turning he turned 80 during the thing. Thing took 5 years to get to trial and go through, and the old man said it cost $10 million.
Whew.
So Cyrus Vance is trying to make Cy Vance Jr., who's trying to make a name for himself.
Who's also tied up in the Harvey Weinstein thing, by the way.
Oh, is he?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I hope he dies. I really do. I hope, because these people are so didn't deserve this. And that this fucking cocksucker is, he's having lunch with Jamie Dimon, who probably should be in prison for the rest of his fucking life. Trying to make an example of this Chinese bank that does a wonderful service in this community. And I don't know. It was an interesting documentary. And there were several... he had several daughters. There wasn't a son involved, but there's 4 daughters, I believe, and they were all lawyers. And 3 out of the 4 worked at the bank, and the other one worked as a prosecutor, and she quit to come and help the family. So, I mean, they didn't act as their own attorneys. They did hire a law firm to, help them, because being your own lawyer is, fairly stupid. But it just kind of went through the shit that they had to deal with. And it was a pretty hard, the government can come after you and find something that you did that's wrong.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And if you can afford the right counsel, you'll win. So, and I hope that Cy Vance Jr., I hope he has some sort of fucking flesh-eating disease that starts right around his dick, chews up his asshole, and then stops for a while.
What about brain cancer?
No, you want him to be wide awake, but just can't stop shitting. Right? It just, every time, just shit continually drools out of his asshole for the rest of his fucking life. And it hurts, too, when it comes out, like stings and shit.
Right.
So, I don't know. I know that sounds harsh, but
again,
this is a guy who's trying to do. He didn't do it because he thought that this was the right thing to do. You just know it.
Right.
He did it because this would further his career.
Yeah, it's politically motivated. All of it.
And
all these guys want to be fucking governor.
They want to be something.
Or mayor.
And they want to, this will just be another notch in the belt. Well, I'm the only one that prosecuted a bank that was part of the 2008 crash.
Oh, good for you.
What bank was it? Well, it was the New York Federal Savings Bank.
Yeah.
In Chinatown with 3 employees.
Right.
So it was fucking ridiculous.
That catered to a fucking small community that needs a good small family bank, not some fucking massive Bank of America nightmare.
Run by very nice people,
right,
who were trying to do the right thing by the community.
Right.
So, you see that kind of shit, and that kind of shit makes me crazy. I'd be on the phone calling up his office, calling him a cocksucker.
Right.
It was 10 years ago. I've kind of given that up,
I don't want to give that shit up. Somebody calls you, you're gonna fucking call him a cocksucker right on the phone.
Well, yeah, and I did tell the Eversource woman. I feel a little bad about that. I hope she died, because I think that bothered her.
Stop banging the microphone.
I think that bothered her.
Oh.
So, I don't know. So that was my documentary thing.
Poor, speaking of New York guys, I mean, we talked about this the other day on a fucking podcast. It's not going to make the cut because of my fucking stupidity.
Audio boy fucked stupidity.
Up. I mean, I've been doing audio shit for my whole life. I've done a little bit of computer recording, but clearly I've never done a podcast before, so I'm engineering this as we go. So for those of you who heard our fucking sample podcast and was wondering why it sounded like Joe was across the room, well, He's speaking into a microphone the whole time that we could hear on our headphone monitors. I get a separate amp for that. I fucking forgot to set the computer software, the recording software, to read the board, the mixing board. Instead, you could hear me good you could hear me well because the fucking microphone on the laptop was picking me up, and Joe was across the fucking room from me. Anyway,
That's right.
I'm a fucking moron. But we were talking about...
Don't beat yourself up over it, Al.
The only thing that makes me pissed, Joe, is that I got about 5 or 6 more hours of shit, of content that was pretty fucking good. So
that's just useless.
I am going to go... It's useless. And I'm going to go back and listen to it just to make notes as far as shit to talk about again. That's the other thing. I got to start making notes. I do this without a pen, which is going to make it hell later when I'm listening to it and editing it. I could just, if I have a notebook that says what we talked about as we talked about it. But
right.
Again, I kind of like the way things are going. But we talked about Anthony Weiner the other day. I just want to fucking go back.
Did we talk?
Yeah, that's the other thing, man.
Did we talk about the Ween Man?
Yeah, I'm finding that we did fucking repeat ourselves a lot because there were a couple of those shows.
Shit-faced?
A couple shows were pretty shit-faced, man.
Yeah, I don't think...
fine. We're going to probably get away from that. Listen.
Yeah, you can't be...
6 o'clock at night, it's the fucking witching hour for me, man. I'm going to need a couple beers or a whiskey or something. You know what I mean? But anyway, talk about those fucking New York politicians who got visions of grandeur. You got fucking Weiner, who didn't just want to be the mayor of New York. That guy wanted to be president. Same with Elliot Spitzer. That guy...
Yeah.
Was governor. He was convinced, and I know his old man was convinced that guy was going to be fucking president of the United States.
He was relatively talented. He was a talented politician.
Yeah, I mean,
so was Weiner.
Well, Weiner's very talented, and now he's going to be in jail soon. That's the other thing. Report by this date. When does that happen? You just don't you usually get fucking led away in cuffs when you're found fucking guilty? What is it with these guys that maybe that's New York? I don't know.
No, I think there's a lot of people that just,
if you're not in custody at the time.
Yeah, I unless you were running or some...
Oh, you know what it is? Maybe it's just if you're out on bail. See, here's the thing. I've never had to do bail. I've never been in trouble. I got one drunk driving on my fucking record. That's it. I've never been in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But old Spitzer... he had a little...
he didn't go to jail or anything.
No, but
he
had a presence on TV there for a little while after. And what's up with old Elliot? Have you seen him around? You watch a little bit more news.
I don't watch any news anymore.
Keep it on in the background anyway. Is this fucking...
No. I don't even...
Dudley Do-Right Chin fucking showed up at all?
I watch no... When I go in the house, there's no news. I binge watch anything I can find on Amazon. I watch documentaries. I watch, movies. I watch no news. I've given up. I can't watch it. It's unwatchable.
What are you watching right now for, say, something that's not current? What older show are you watching?
I don't know if it's older, but I'm watching. Have you seen Vice Principals?
Oh, no. I haven't even heard of it.
With Danny McBride.
Oh, my God.
Do you like Danny McBride? He's great.
Brilliant. He was great in This Is the End.
Did you see his series where he was
He's down
baseball?
and bound. I started it, and Kat, my
fabulous.
lovely wife, hi, baby, Kat didn't like it. We might reintroduce it because there's a couple things that we started that I turned her back onto. She wasn't down with it, so I don't watch it. And I usually watch TV with her. I never watch TV alone. And if I'm watching TV alone, I'm 180 degrees different than you. I'm watching a sporting event. If I'm home alone, I'm putting on soccer or cricket or baseball.
You're a sports guy.
Something.
But I don't give a fuck about any of that.
I know you don't. I don't even care who's playing.
Well, I know, but I don't care who's playing, and I won't watch
because it's mindless. That's why. And I can we were talking about the noise in the head.
Yeah, oh yeah. You want something to counterbalance that? Is that the deal?
That goes away when I'm watching some fucking sporting event where the fucking Ukrainian women's under 17 soccer team is playing like Kazakhstan or something.
Right.
I would rather watch that than any fucking heavy duty fucking cop serial that I gotta fucking think about, because you gotta follow the fucking dialogue. You know what I mean? I would just assume just wait till someone scores. And you know what? It doesn't even matter if they score. There's beauty in a 0-0 tie, especially in a soccer game.
Well, yeah, but you must be doing something else while you're doing it, right?
Well, for a while there, I was fiddling with vinyl records, which I'm over now. I'm currently over that, which is weird. That was like a 3-month flirtation of, well, stupidity. But now my sole focus is, unfortunately, when I'm not working and not sleeping, is this podcast right now.
Well, you're into it.
Well, I'm into it, but it's a lot of work. We don't have a fucking engineer or an employee or whatever. Hey, listen, I'm taking on the work. You ain't going to do it. That's obvious. We talked about it for fucking 6 months, and it became clear that you weren't going to do any of the work. So here I am, and now we're going to do it.
We know that.
We kind of come back full circle, on this segment.
I'll be on it, and I'll pay for the stuff.
That's all I need to hear, Joe.
I'll pay for the stuff.
That's great, and I'll do all the work, baby. You
And
know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a fair trade.
It's a great trade.
I built this table here.
However, we are straight partners when it comes to money later, right?
Of course.
Awesome. That's all I need to hear. And listen, that's a handshake. Hold on.
Of course
That's
we
a handshake. A deal on a handshake.
Well,
most guys don't want to do that because you get fucked. Joe Brennan has made millions of dollars of deals over the years on a handshake.
And I have no money, but...
Well, you have no money to show for it now, but there's always a flow. You keep other guys busy. Guys like you are great for the economy, man. You're like money conduits. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
That's what you are. You're a conduit. That's okay.
From one place to another. But we don't know. We might get up to... It could go crazy, Al. We might get up to 3 or 4 or 5 listeners.
I'll tell you
and
what.
then we're on the road to fucking... we're the big time.
We're 2 weeks into this, and we have 5 constant listeners. And
no, we don't.
I'm telling you, I'll look it up after we get off the air. I'll tell you how many people. All you got to do is go on my YouTube page. I had 0 subscribers.
Do they have comments? Have they left a comment?
Nobody's left a comment yet. I've had 0 subscribe. I've had a YouTube page for years.
Well, now this goes by downloads,
Oh yeah. No, listen, that's different. Once we get it up on.
I hope you know all this stuff.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing. Listen.
You got a handle on it?
Yeah, we're not there yet.
No.
The only way. As of today, October 10th, the only way you can get us is
October 10th.
Did I say that?
Yes.
Is the only way you can get us right now is YouTube, which is crazy. I'm not looking for that. YouTube is there because I'm looking for preliminary feedback. And even if it's all negative, that's great. If it's positive, that's great. I'm just looking for a little feedback. Content-wise, not everybody is into what we're talking about, even though we talk about everything. My God, we cover a lot of different topics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it might be too much.
Nah, I think that's bullshit because I would say that the best talk shows cover a lot of stuff. And again, to quote the great Howard Stern and his father, you got to have diarrhea of the mouth. And if there's one thing I've learned from listening to 15 or 20 hours of this bullshit the last couple days is...
I hope Cy Vance has continuous diarrhea out his ass.
Yeah, well...
Burning asshole.
Bile, hot pepper, fucking...
Gets his promotion to wherever he's looking to go and has a burning asshole forever.
Yeah, well...
On fire.
I wonder if old Anthony Weiner's going to have a burning asshole of a different type.
No. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
Well, he'll probably be fucking in charge by the time he gets out.
He'll be running the fucking
He'll be
place.
fucking president of the fucking population, you know what I mean?
No, nothing will happen, old. He's obviously has a problem.
Well, yeah. I mean, if
He's got a problem.
if you got to continue to send pictures of your cock to unknown people, I mean, obviously, that's a modern problem, man. I wonder what the fucking...
Yeah, but this
what
guy...
was the 19th century equivalent of sending a picture of your cock to someone you didn't know?
Either a second chance or a third... He got a second chance, didn't he?
I think he got...
Because he had a first chance, then a second chance, and then this was the third time,
yeah,
right?
yeah. This was the third time. Yeah, he's not getting a third chance, but yeah.
No. And he fucking detonated his career. I mean,
He sure did.
He's done for a long time.
And is
his wife, she's still with him, right?
No, they're getting divorced. That's
they
just
are?
what I was going to say. I mean, listen.
I heard that they were staying together.
No. That was...
Kind of like Bill and Hillary.
That was during the documentary. She was going to stay together. This whole thing that's going on now is post-documentary. This is all shit since the documentary. You know what I'm talking about. You saw the documentary,
Yeah,
right?
oh yeah.
Which, by the way, was fascinating viewing. And you could just see that fucking... Listen, Huma Abedin is probably... Is that how you say it? She's probably very talented. But,
She
again...
thinks Hillary Clinton's wonderful.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing.
She has to have some
We were talking
problems.
about money-grubbing whores earlier.
Yes.
She is a fucking fame-grubbing whore. She fucking latched, and you could see in that documentary, which none of it was acted, you could just see she was biting her lip, biding her time till this motherfucker cleaned this up and just got elected in New York so she could, got elected mayor so she could be the fucking first lady of New York. That's what happens when you fucking do things for the wrong reasons. That's what happens when you don't marry for love. She never loved fucking Anthony Weiner.
Well, now
She
you're getting
saw
a little,
him-
you're getting a little deep here because I don't know if I can't say that for sure. She probably did love him. I mean, that's getting pretty deep into a relationship.
The fact that she's divorcing him because he took pictures of his cock.
And she's certainly not going down the Hillary road, where
is?
Hillary, well, I mean, Hillary never left Bill because she wanted to be
Because
president.
she had political aspirations.
Well, and I mean, Hillary should leave Bill now, but then again, what good would that do? Because I guess now that you will,
The fact
I'm
that
sure Bill's still out getting blown.
Of course. The fact that they're still together or
Fucking-
she hasn't divorced him
kids on-
shows that for whatever reason, she's still got some fucking... She got some aspiration. Hillary Clinton's not done, dude. She's not going away. I'm not saying
Well,
she's
she
running
might
for
not
president.
be done, but people are done with her.
Yeah, people are done with her, I think. And why you figure someone who was smart and fucking degreed as her would fucking figure that out and just go
she's
away, honey. Have fucking fun. Enjoy your retirement. No, she's not done. This
Well, what
fucking
is she
book-
going to do? Go around?
Are you going to read the book?
No.
Yeah, I'm not either. Usually, I would probably
Well,
be
you
interested.
can read it. It's 450 pages.
Yeah, no.
Of
I'm just
fucking
interested.
drivel.
What happened was I'm going to tell. That's the name of the book. What happened? What are you, OJ? What happened? Listen, this is what happened. You were the worst presidential candidate nominee. You were the worst party nominee in the history of U.S. presidential politics.
Yeah, but not only that. Did you see the 60 Minutes thing where Leslie Stahl was interviewing the guy that ran Trump's Facebook thing? And, basically they were so good at it that this guy, firmly believes that the election is, he wouldn't have won without this Facebook.
You're talking about
shit.
Twitter, not Facebook.
No, I'm talking about Facebook.
Oh, really?
You can watch 60 Minutes online
I will make a note of that.
and watch the interview with the Facebook guy who worked for Trump. He actually had his own company, and Trump paid him. And it was phenomenally interesting, and they had nothing like it.
How long ago was that? You remember? Ballpark.
The 60 Minutes episode
Yeah.
was this Sunday.
Oh, it was this past Sunday? Okay.
Yeah. And the other thing, you got to remember, the RNC was being attacked the same as the DNC. And the RNC let the FBI went to the DNC and went to the RNC and said, hey, you're being hacked. And the DNC didn't let anybody in. Didn't let them in. and the RNC did. And the reason the DNC didn't let him in is because they were fucking fixing the thing for scumbag. Against Bernie for douchebag. And so it just, every step of the way, the greed and lying and just the horrid person that she is, just, it just fucked her every. And you know what? She's not that bright. She really isn't. She's just a fucking. She's just a ball of ambition.
She was the anointed one in 2008 and couldn't beat a fucking.
Got her ass beat.
What do you call it? A fucking community organizer.
Right.
Who, by the way, was a great speaker. We talked about that before.
Fabulous. And you know what? Not a bad guy.
Yeah, you know what? I'd love to have a beer with the guy.
Shitty president.
But the...
not a bad guy, though.
Can you imagine, though, if... I mean, do you feel that that whatever the interference was in however they rigged the election, the primaries against her and Bernie, can you imagine if it was Bernie and Trump, man, for the fucking big one? How great that would have been.
I don't know whether Bernie would have won.
I'm not saying he would have won. I'm saying that it would have been even a more interesting election, in my opinion, just because, listen, when I woke up on election day.
Well, knowing that she wasn't going to be president would be the big thing for me.
Yeah. When I woke up on election day.
So if Bernie had won the nomination.
And we've talked about this before. When I woke up on election day, as big a Trump guy as I was for 2 years before or from whenever he announced, I always knew Donald Trump would be a great president, or at least no one's going to work harder than him at it. You know what I mean? But when I woke up on election day, I didn't think that he was going to win. I was pleasantly surprised that night. I really, really didn't think he was going to win.
Nobody thought he was going to win.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to win.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you might have had a little bit more. You held out a little bit more hope than I did, if I remember, because as in that election,
the thought of having her as president was so horrifying.
You realize you and I have watched a lot of presidential election returns together at this point.
But I'm not so much of a Trump fan. I mean, I'm fine with people have to calm down and realize that no president can. It's not going to ruin the country. The country will be fine, and we've got our Constitution is pretty strong, and he can't do anything. He's not crazy. He's not going to go and he can't just take all your rights away. But the
guy didn't go to school to learn how to fucking talk to people. He learned how to make deals. You know what I mean?
I was just so thrilled that she lost because she's horrible.
Yeah.
She's evil, manipulative. That sounds good. To me, she's just an awful human being, terrible person.
Seems like there's a lot of fucking cadavers in her fucking wake over the years.
I think they're the two of them are the most evil fucking force we've had in a long time.
That being said, Bill Clinton is a talented guy. Although when
he's a talented politician.
When he gave
he doesn't believe in anything now. Of course.
Yeah. When he gave the
other than him and his honey making a lot of money for themselves.
When he gave the keynote address in '88, he got fucking booed off the stage. I don't know if you remember that. He was awful speaker. And then somewhere between '88 and '92, he fucking learned.
No, he had a 3-hour fucking speech. That's why they booed him off the stage. He wouldn't go away. Much like his wife now.
Right.
Just won't go the fuck away.
Yeah, her recent political career is the fucking equivalent of his fucking DNC convention speech.
When you listen to her chime in on Harvey Weinstein, and it's like, your fucking husband raped people. And you're going to sit there and, anyone that believes that she really thinks that, she was like, all women should be believed, until until they're proven not to be, or not to be, or proven to be lying. What she said to the woman that asked the question at one of her rallies, like, well, what about your husband who raped people? Well, I mean, everybody has a right to be believed until they're proven not. Well, nobody was proven wrong. He lost his fucking law license, you cunt.
Right.
You fucking piece of shit. So, I mean, and she's chiming in. Just shut the fuck up. Why would you do that?
Because she's not going away, Joe.
Well,
she's refusing to go away.
She'll be, I guess, the mainstream, these douchebags, like The View. She'll get on the fucking View. She's not going anywhere. She's not going to be, no one's going to make her, she's not going to be Secretary of State.
How's this for a job? I bet you, I'm a betting man. I ain't got much to bet. I bet you eventually, maybe for the fucking 2020 election, she might be head of the fucking Democratic National Committee.
Nah, she doesn't want that.
She might take it.
Get somebody else to watch somebody else get in there.
Happened to Howard Dean. Howard Dean went far in the primary process, and then what a fucking maniac. Remember that whole
she
scenario?
won't do that. You know why? Because it can't be all about her. So she won't do that.
But she got to have her finger in the fucking thing somewhere. All I'm saying is she hasn't gone away.
This is the crisis. You have to understand, this woman has nothing now.
But what I'm saying to you is...
No, but she's got nothing.
She hasn't gone away. So, and what you're saying is it's all or nothing, and she hasn't gone away. Is she going to run for president again?
No one will back her to run for president.
Then why can't she go away? Why hasn't she gone away?
Because she has nothing.
I mean,
else.
other than maybe the book. Well, that's it too. The
her
book,
husband's,
a lot of people are going to buy the book.
Her husband's still getting blown by, while she was off, she's been running for president the whole fucking time. After he got out of office, she's been running for president.
Since George Bush Jr. took the fucking oath, she's been running for president.
And now it's over.
Since 2000.
It's fucking over.
Yeah.
There's no other steps. No one's going to appoint her anywhere. No one's going to, give her another fucking stepping stone towards the presidency. She's blown it. She blew it big time. It's 100% her fucking fault because she sucks and she's a crook. I mean...
Do you think there's any way for a person like that to be happy and content? Or do you take solace in the fact that she's just fucking tortured every day of her fucking
I don't
life?
know if she is tortured. I just think that... I don't know what those two do. You think
they certainly don't do much together.
You think they sit around and hold hands and binge watch anything?
I doubt they even eat meals together, frankly.
I mean,
I think he's living in an apartment in fucking Harlem, and she's up in Westchester.
Because he definitely has just whores going in and out. He does.
Well, why wouldn't he?
He's on that Lolita Express,
First of all,
going banging 12-year-olds.
She's not blowing him, obviously. There was obviously some fucking... fucking need for him to step out his whole life since he's been fucking 29 or whatever.
She's eating someone's box.
I don't believe that at all. I think she's just unsexual, just non-sexual. Just doesn't care. She's not a lesbian. She's lesbians have a shred of fucking compassion and empathy and aren't fucking driven fucking blind at all times.
No,
she's just got this mad blind ambition.
Just crazed.
Yeah.
Crazed. And I mean, I think you kind of have to have that, but she's just fucking evil. And so I think, it's the idea that you can come out. What kills me is that she comes out after she got bagged with this server deal. And she says, well, I only wanted to use one device. And she just fucking, nobody calls her out on it. Except, a few people on Fox News and, a couple of, they make just lies through her teeth the whole way along. And I don't know whether she believes this or not, or she just says it and, doesn't really believe it. Because, I mean, at some point you got to be honest with yourself, right? Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't ever have to be. But she fucked up her own doing this.
I mean, I'm 49 and I've never been honest with myself, Joe.
Well, And sometimes it's a good way to be. But she fucked up this campaign. It was hers to lose, and she fucked it up. Between taking the Wall Street money and having her own server and lying about it.
Again, I've said it a million times.
She fucked it up.
2016 wasn't the only time it was hers to lose. 2008 was hers to lose.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised she lost in 2016. I was kind of flabbergasted.
I was a little surprised, but I was just elated. That was so great seeing her in that big Javits Center with all the glass all over the place so it could signify the glass ceiling, and she fucking lost. She didn't even, you know what? She didn't have the decency to come down and give a speech to all the fucking people that supported her.
Apparently, the couple of off-the-record insiders said that she was having trouble composing herself, both emotionally and she started drinking.
Because she's a piece of shit.
Well, she couldn't compose herself, and that's fine. It had nothing to do with... Mean? She couldn't compose herself.
So if there's a nuclear war, you can't compose yourself? You're not going to come down and speak to the American people?
Well, clearly, the right thing happened. The American people voted for the right guy. Now, is he perfect? No. But you're gonna you want to argue about who's more suited for the presidency between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton? Get the fuck out of here.
And on that note, we're leaving.
All right, Joe. I had fun, and listen, Tuesdays and Thursdays for me and you.
We might even be live at some
point. Means, hopefully. Which means, for the time being, I'm going to do my damnedest to get these up on Wednesdays and Fridays.
There you go.
So I'm trying to get up 2 shows separately, not 2 shows together. So we're working on this, guys. Thanks for sticking with us.
It's only the beginning.
Yes.
And it will get better.
It'll get better, and it'll get cleaner, and it'll get more pro, or maybe not. You know what I mean? One thing I'm going to tell you right now, because I'm noticing since the break, I feel a little bit more fluid. I think I have to arrive drunk, not get drunk during the show. Pretty sure.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, I might have to be arriving.
Could be
drunk,
the key,
especially once we get everything right, so we can just flip the switch and go. Anyway, Joe, I love you, and I will see you.
Love you too, pal.
Thursday night.